All righty, here we go with another episode of the Slack Doctors. You know, it never fails whenever there's a countdown. You always talk over it. I don't know why that is, but I'm always sitting here watching the countdown, and I'm like saying it very quietly. And every time, well, what are you like? No, shut. Be quiet. I don't know how you psychically know we're about to start talking. That's just amazing. But anyway, I'm Dr. Chip.
I'm Dr. Bob. It's a gift.
Yeah. No guests today, just the two of us, and I guess we're doing a double sesh today. I don't know. I guess we'll take like a small break in between, or.
Sorry, had a timer going.
Oh yeah, I got one going too. But anyway, so do you have any news nuggets?
Nothing too interesting. Couple of news nuggets about electric vehicles bursting into flames on their own. Apparently, one of these was in Franklin, Tennessee, at a Rivian dealership. One of them went into what they call thermal runaway, which when it was being charged, and of course it was parked too close to several others. So I think 4 of them in total went up and almost lit the building on fire, but not quite. They were parked pretty close to the building.
Yeah, you know, I got to say, of those little funny little electric bikes and scooters and whatever kind of little electric scooting along machines, the risk of fire is probably the least dangerous thing about them.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Especially in this town, the things I see people do on them is crazy. But I have seen some amazing, scary footage of like a guy in an elevator, brings his scooter into the elevator to go up to his apartment, and the thing catches on fire while you're in the elevator. That's, yeah. And it's not even the fire so much as just being in that enclosed area with all the gases coming off that battery. Right. Is a frightening idea. I mean, how long can you hold your breath?
Right. And then I guess a lot of them kind of explode before they catch on fire, which is not a good thing.
Yeah. And then the next news nugget about EVs has nothing to do with fire. It's just how, like, we all know electricity and water don't mix. Well, apparently sometimes they really don't mix. This came out of Lakeland, Florida, actually. Some guy owned a Hyundai Ioniq 5 and minor fender bender, whatever, spilled a bottle of water in his back seat that went down underneath the driver's seat and completely shorted out the whole car. And the module to replace was like $12,000 just because he spilled water inside of his car.
Yeah. I always wondered about that. Like, if you're in an electric car and you get an accident and you get thrown into a canal, does the thing just immediately start sparking and catch on fire, or what happens?
Well, scarily, it doesn't happen often right away. It can happen way later, which is why they kind of have to quarantine that vehicle. Even in a scrapyard, they've got to put it away from other things. I've even seen them videos of those things being submerged in a giant tank, like a cargo shipping container size of water, and the water just boiling. The thing is just burning underwater until eventually the battery, gives up all of its oxygen.
Well, here's the thing. In post-apocalyptic world, don't forget that little trick. We can use that to run, to make our steam engines.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it's time for a new electric car in the vat.
Right. It's like we never really got away from steam energy, even nuclear.
No,
it's just heating water still using it. To make steam to turn turbines. So you're just using a different heat source, but you're still using steam.
That's what a nuclear plant does. It's a steam plant, really. It's the most scientifically advanced technology we have, coupled with the oldest, technology that we have. Which, I mean, you think about it. I mean, expanding gas, that's one of the most powerful things in the universe. Nothing can stop it. If you get enough of it, it's going to blow through anything. But I think I mentioned this before, but did you ever see the video of, I guess they came up with it was an electric car that in case the battery cells caught on fire, it would shoot them out the sides?
Yes.
I think I mentioned that on the pod before, but man, that's just right from the outset, how did somebody go, that's just not a good idea. That's not gonna, something just caught on fire, so let's eject the fire in all directions.
In all 4 directions. Yeah, all 4 cardinal directions at once.
Yes. And see if we can catch everything surrounding it on fire as well. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a smart idea. Yeah. Yeah, and I think I've said on the pod.
Mention, I mean, it's clearly, in a sense, it is booby trapping a vehicle. I mean, you're not allowed to to booby trap your car. Have it automatically shoot bear spray out and stuff.
You're not allowed to do that? I'm kind of sad to hear that. I was kind of planning on doing something like that.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd want to see the law.
You can armor plate it. You can get the bulletproof glass and the full on executive diplomat treatment. But you can even get little little parts of the bulletproof glass to put a barrel through to shoot out of and all that kind of stuff. But you can't actually automate the defenses of the car.
You can't hook up a taser to the door handle.
No, I mean people have jerry rigged such items and on their own, but no, it's
I
highly
can't see how they can stop you from doing
states.
that. It's my damn property. But yeah, now I think I mentioned before the fact that not only those things, those little electric, especially the little scooters, the little the little like a skateboard with a handle in the front. Those things are so ungodly dangerous. They're even more dangerous than skateboards because you're kind of front loading your weight. So stupid. And people that normally, if you and I go up to them and say, yeah, I ride a motorcycle. Oh my God, do you wear a helmet? It's so dangerous. We'll just send their kids out on one of those with like, oh yeah, go have fun. No helmet, no pads, no nothing. It goes about 30, 40 mile an hour and just go out there and have a good time. I hope you don't die.
Yeah, I'm in Gainesville. I see it every day. Yeah. I see a lot of these kids that it's like, that diploma is not going to do you much good once you do a header on that thing.
Do you even hear about any kids dying from that up there? I mean, I'm sure they do.
Surprisingly, no, I have not.
Well, I'm wondering if they do or don't die, or if they just got tired of even mentioning it because it probably happens so often. Because it's gotta, especially up there. I mean, I remember when I went up there, people were dying on bicycles all the time, let alone those stupid little things. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, those e-bikes themselves are like, they are essentially just electric motorcycles with very small frames. I mean, the speeds at which they go, people that are riding them thinking they're just going to wear the kind of protection they would normally wear to ride a bike. That's not the way to go. I mean, you really do need a helmet. Those things go fast.
Well, I was going to say, at least if you wear a helmet, I mean, at least you're, that's somewhat like riding a motorcycle, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, they make electric like dirt bikes now that go, as fast as a dirt bike. I mean, they don't go as long because obviously you can only go so long before the battery runs out. But these things haul ass like a regular dirt bike.
Instant torque, yeah. And
yeah.
I can see the for using them in the woods too because it doesn't disturb the animals as much.
Well,
like if you wanted to ride around and like actually look at things and instead of having anything just run away from you. But at the same time, that noise also keeps deer sometimes away from the road. So I could see it being a double-edged sword.
Right. Yeah, and especially which you don't want that in traffic. You want people to hear you in traffic. So, yeah, in traffic, that makes it doubly dangerous, the fact that it's silent. But, even in the woods, though, you don't want to scare a bear. You want a bear to hear you coming.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a double edge. Like you'll get to see more wildlife, but some of it might be wildlife you don't want to see.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. I think it was yesterday or the day before, I just saw a clip of some guy and he was on a dirt bike, but they were on like a dirt road or paved road or something. But a freaking, I guess it was a mountain lion or something ran right out in front of him. I don't know if I couldn't even tell if it hurt the mountain lion or not. I mean, obviously it knocked it down and out of the road, but it may have got up and left. But the guy on the motorcycle didn't get up.
There's been a couple of documented cases of mountain lions hunting people on mountain bikes, or out biking and
this mountain lion was definitely not hunting.
Utah and stuff.
Yeah, no, he just ran right in front of it like an idiot. He was definitely not hunting. He did not see it coming. He ran right out in front of it. But the guy on the motorcycle took the worst of it, I think. He went over the handlebars, I think, or something. Literally, the first part of there was 5 seconds of him hitting the lion, and then about another 20, 30 seconds of him laying on the ground groaning, because it was one of those, helmet, whatever, cameras. So it's just a picture of the sky, and you can hear him just going, oh. I see so many motorcycle accident videos like that where that is the soundtrack of aftermath of a motorcycle accident. Just somebody laying there, oh, no.
Looking straight up.
Yeah, or just looking around, or yeah. You've never been in a motorcycle accident, have you?
No, I have not,
No
thankfully.
kidding. And you never rode like dirt bikes or anything. You just got on that bike you had, right?
I had a dirt bike as a kid, but I didn't ride it very much.
But you fell
I
off it a
didn't get a
couple
lot
of
of
times at least,
opportunities to
right?
ride it, but I had one from when I was like 15 to 17.
Yeah, you fell off that a couple of times, I would assume, right?
Yeah, yeah, I fell off that a couple of times,
Well,
but
that kind
never
of
on
counts.
pavement, just on the dirt and the grass.
Yeah, that counts. At least you've
And
fallen. You know the
I never hit a tree or anything like significant. Never,
right, right.
just laid it down a couple of times.
I've glanced off trees. I've never hit a tree straight on. I've definitely glanced off a few trees. The worst part
The bike I had was a weird bike too. It was a Hodaka Super Rat.
oh yeah, it was like an enduro or something, right?
Yeah, it was like a 1969 Hodaka, I think,
Yeah,
Super Rat.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's back in the days when you could almost blur the line between street bikes and dirt bikes. There wasn't that much difference, really. Some of them were like, "Oh, that could be a street bike, but it's really kind of a dirt bike with headlights or whatever." I mean, I remember back in the days, like I remember there's footage of like Steve McQueen back in like the 50s, like doing dirt bike racing, which basically those days was just a street bike with the fenders taken off. That's really all they did. They didn't really make dirt bikes back then.
Right? Did you have dirt bikes as a kid?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, I had a Yamaha, I think it was a 175 Enduro, which of course, an Enduro is not really, I mean, they work in the dirt, but it's not really a dirt bike. It's got like the two coily springs in the back, not enough travel to really get through like whoop-de-doos and stuff like that, but I sure tried. I wiped out a lot trying. But the problem was Skip, my uncle, had a Suzuki RM360, which was the state of the art dirt bike of the day. Like this two-stroke monster that would just like, it was fast as shit. And I would try to keep up with him on that. And I would just end up eating it so hard. It would, yeah. I went over the handlebars of that 175 at least a dozen times, just getting crossed up, and yeah, that thing was scary. Yeah, I've never actually really. I should try to. Well, I mean, I'm way too old now, but I should have tried doing some dirt biking with an actual dirt bike. I might have been pretty good at it, but I never had a real dirt bike. I mean, Skip actually went. I don't know if you remember, but they used to have. Dirt bike racing in the auditorium thing there, the Leaky Teepee, on
The Jehovah Dome.
yeah, yeah. They used to have
Yeah.
dirt bike racing in there, and Skip actually went there once and raced in there on his dirt bike. Oh shit! I forgot to turn my phone off. I'll talk to him later. Anyway, yeah, I mean that was back in the days, dude. I mean, back in those days, we used to go basically ride out of the Shell Pits, which is now Okehele Park. So, yeah, that was back in the days.
We used to take them out behind the jail where the Trump's golf course is now and ride them around there.
I could have swore I just turned this off. I got to talk to you later, buddy. Anyway. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about, newsworthy anyway, is what do you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I saw your Facebook post of her and Thomas Massey running as a ticket together.
Well, you think that's why she quit? I mean, you heard she
Good
quit,
theory.
right?
I heard she resigned.
Yeah, yeah. Which apparently resigning is different than apparently she could have, if she just quit and just said, I'm not going to do anything or whatever, then her seat would just kind of sit there and not do anything. But the fact that she resigns now makes it so that I guess they have to replace her seat. So I don't know what, and at the face value of it, do you think she's really just said, that's it, I'm done? I don't, and I mean, I get it. It's not like she could really do anything to change much. But I mean, do you think she's really just done? Or do you think she's got something else in mind?
I think she got something else in mind, but I mean, I think everything they do is planned and coordinated. When I say them, people in power, but I guess it's possible that she just acted out of emotion or frustration or, yeah, who knows?
Well, they're saying Trump threatened her. And I don't know if you saw the other thing I posted about the Marla Maples thing. Did you see that?
No.
Well, apparently or whatever, his other wife, apparently she died like one day before she was supposed to testify.
I thought that was Ivana.
Yeah, Ivana. Sorry, I get them all mixed up. Whichever one.
Okay.
But apparently she died like right the day before she was supposed to testify about something, and some kind of NDA was running out, and that thing was suggesting that Trump may have had somebody else rubbed out. I forget who it was.
I saw a news blurb about that, but I didn't see what it was she was supposedly about to testify about.
Well, of course, my comment about the whole thing was, he did learn from the best, Hillary. I mean, if she unalived all those people that they say she did, then he's certainly taken the page out of her playbook. But
who was the guy that quote hung himself and shot himself? Which one was that?
Dude, I don't know. There's so many of them like that nowadays. It's crazy. It's like, wait a minute, how do they shot themselves in the head and then stabbed themselves, or something's like, wait, what? How does that? Yeah, there's more than one of those, which is just kind of scary. That people are like, oh, the rule of law, the rule. Well, how about we solve some murders? How about that rule of law? How about we figure out who's killing people? But
the fact that the conversation starts with which one of those was it?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because I know there's more than one of like questionable, like even the guy that the Obama guy that drowned in the 4-foot lake.
I was just going to bring that up, the golf pond, right?
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, how does that happen? Yeah, now there's so many, and I don't know if you saw about the stuff they just came out about that Crooks kid. Actually, I think I mentioned that on the last pod. But then, there's all kind of questions about that Crooks kid, about how they apparently scrubbed. It's not that he didn't have an internet presence; they scrubbed it. He's got apparently they found all kinds of stuff he had been posting on the internet. So. Yeah, the government is clearly lying to us. And that's what brings me back to MGT. So one of the theories I have is, well, a lot of the theories being floated is she's going to run for the Senate or run for governor. And tell you the truth, of those two, I believe she might run for governor. And when she wins, because she's incredibly popular, I think she might try to secede. That's what I do. I mean, the way she puts it, like, look, it's hopeless. It's useless.
Governor of what state?
What's that?
What state are we talking about here?
Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it. If she was the one, and I mean, she's clearly not going to do this without talking to some other, because I'm sure Florida would go. I'm sure Texas would go. There's a lot of Tennessee would probably go. There's a lot of states that if you said, look, we're about to do this, we got to take our country back and do something. I'm sure there are a lot of states that would sign on and go, yeah, you got a point there.
The one state that actually has and not really, but almost has the technical ability to secede would be Texas. And I say that for two reasons. One is the manner in which they joined the union, having been a republic prior to joining. So the way that they join kind of allows them more wiggle room for getting back out of it. But more importantly, it's the power grid. Now, they have taken a lot of heat, no pun intended, over that last, when they had that cold snap and they didn't have enough electricity. But the point being that there's 3 power grids in the United States, and one of them is just Texas. The other is everything east of the Mississippi and then everything west of the Mississippi. So from an infrastructure point of view, having had oil there and still having some, not as much as they used to, but in the way their power grid is set up, the amount of coastline that they have, an international border as well with Mexico, they're in a better spot if they wanted to try to secede than
I don't
pretty
think
much any other state in the union.
I don't think any one state would secede. I think that would be pointless. I would think they would have to get together and go, okay, these are the states, and we're all going to come out and do it at once and say, that's it, we're done with this crap. We're going back to the old system.
What I was saying is that if any one state was to want to do it, to do it, That would be the one that could do it.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I don't think anybody would do that. And it's so funny because I mean, it would basically be refighting the Civil War, basically almost exactly for the same reasons. And everybody, it's so funny that everybody goes, "Oh, the Civil War was about slavery," and I still say to this day, the Civil War was about slavery, just like the war in Afghanistan was about terrorism. Not so much. Not really the main reason of the war. I mean, that was the convenient, victory's lesson in history is like, oh yeah, we beat the slavers. Yeah, that's, that was definitely part of it. I'm not gonna be like a Holocaust / slavery denier. There's definitely elements of that going on, but the whole framing of our Civil War as being just about slavery is, I think we got to stop doing that, because that's not what it was. This is literally, we're about to refight it again about this for the same exact reasons. States' rights, and we don't believe that what the federal government is doing is in our best interest. So I don't know.
And money. I mean, all wars are about money. Money or religion.
Absolutely.
Or both.
Yeah. Yeah, and at this point, we've lost the money because we don't have a control of our own money. That's a reason to secede right there. We don't have control over the money of the United States of America. Somebody does. We don't know who. Somebody has it. Some cabal of bankers decides how much money is going to be in the system or not, or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Remember when the United States went off the gold standard, and then they revalued gold, which essentially overnight erased a tremendous amount of U.S. debt. I think the same plan is again going to happen, only this time it's not just going to be gold, it's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be, the government's going to authorize Bitcoin and then revalue it, and then have a certain surplus, and then automatically that will reduce their debt.
Yeah, you're right
but
about that.
At the same time, it's going to devalue the dollar. But
yeah, absolutely. And
it's the only mechanism that they can even attempt to pay it down. It'll never be paid off by taxes. It's impossible.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, they could conceivably, if they do take in money, if they stop spending more than they took in, it would eventually go down. But I mean, the chances of that are, that's crazy. Nobody thinks that's going to happen. But yeah,
no,
I mean,
it's a machine that feeds itself, so it's never going to stop feeding itself.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. A lot of people have floated that idea that they're going to basically make crypto the new, I don't know if they want to make it the new world currency, maybe, like replace the petrodollar with it or something, maybe. But they might try something like that. But I don't know, man. It's getting to the point. It's getting to the point now where it's like, look, if you can't hold it in your hand, if it's not a piece of land, if it's not something solid, who knows what it really is worth? It's all questionable stuff.
I mean, for a long time now, it's been a series of just numbers and machines anyway, because there's never, there's not enough physical currency to represent the amount of money that supposedly exists. But now with Bitcoin, it's like we're openly just admitting that it's just random faith and strings of numbers and letters, and we.
Did I mention the house in Lantana last pod or two about it's being advertised as being on the water, but it's not on the water. It's across the street from on the water.
And they wanted some ungodly amount of money, right?
$1.3 million. Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect example of like these people are going to have to wake up. They're never getting $1.3 million for that freaking little house. I mean, it's just a little indescript house. Just because it's across the street from the Intercoastal doesn't make it worth $100.3 million. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of corrections coming up. Did you happen to see anything on that Sean Ryan, I think is the guy's name, podcast, the ex-military guy, and he had Charlie Kirk's head of security on?
No, you talked about this though.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the whole thing, and it's basically the guy that was doing this thing that everybody think was doing the hand signals. That's right. The guy. It's
not the guy that turned around and immediately made a phone call, right?
No, it wasn't that guy. That guy is his chief of staff, supposedly, which has never come on camera and said a damn thing since then. I don't know why he won't just come on camera and say, "Oh no, this is what I was doing." But yeah, anyway. But they had this guy on, and he made some good points, which is funny. Afterwards, I watched one of the body language expert guys. You ever watch those guys when they watch people and say, oh, this looks suspicious here? He made some good points about how he did some interesting body language stuff at certain points. But at the end of the day, the guy sent a text. Well, I mean, if you can believe these texts, which could be all made up, as we all know. But he shows Sean Ryan a text saying, hey, we've got concerns about this rooftop, which apparently wasn't even the rooftop that the guy shot from. It was a different rooftop. And then got a message back saying, oh, we got you covered. And then just didn't even worry about it. Like, that's it. Well, guess what? I'm never going to hire this security team. I mean, they're not doing exactly a lot of good for their business by going, yeah, we just kind of asked about it. They said it was good, so we forgot about it. Now Charlie's dead.
I was really waiting for you to use the phrase bang up job, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we forgot about it, and now Charlie's dead. Sorry. I know he got paid millions of dollars and all that, but, oh well, sorry about that. It's insane. But, yeah.
Does that guy still work for Turning Point?
I have well, I'm not sure if he worked for Turning Point or just worked for a security team hired by Turning Point. So I have no idea. And I don't know if he was on the payroll or if they just do it on a per event basis or something like that. Who knows? But I'm certainly not hiring the guy. But he did still, at the end of the interview, come up with many of the same questions that are left unanswered. Like, how did he break the gun down and jump off the roof and put the gun together and this? There's just way too many questions that just don't make any sense. And I mean, if they could clear all this stuff up in a trial, which I highly doubt, but who knows? Maybe. I don't know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but there's just too many unanswered questions that I think they're going to have to. Of course, we're never going to see any of it, so it doesn't really matter. But that I thought was pretty telling interview. At least, at the very least, I'm pretty sure now that he was shot from the front. I don't think Tyler shot him. I don't know who shot him. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that gun they found in the woods. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many unanswered questions. And apparently there was an anyway, we talked all about all that already. But yeah, I'm not
originally
using that
though, weren't you behind there was a shooter from behind? What changed your mind on that?
Well, this guy, that guy was saying he was basically the guy holding the wound on Charlie's neck as they took him to the hospital, and he said he reached around the back looking for an exit wound and couldn't find one. I mean, if he's telling the truth, but I think that'll all come out. If they did an autopsy, it'll come out. And I mean that's the whole question from the get was, where's the bullet? There's a bullet somewhere. Where is it? Supposedly it was in Charlie. I don't know if they got it out or not, or if they got out the pieces or the fragments or what. But who knows? We'll find out, I guess, sooner or later. And then the other thing, did you see Mamdani in the White House?
No.
Oh my God!
I knew he went.
Oh, dude, they have a makeout session basically. I've never seen two guys more happy with each other in my life, especially after the stuff they've been saying to each other. It's insane, dude. They got together and everyone's smiles and happy and everything's great. And, oh, yeah, we're going to help him out with whatever we can in New York. And, he's got some crazy ideas, but we'll see how it goes. And then otherwise, they're all like, yeah, everything's great. And I mean, between him and the MBS guy and the Syrian president guy, it's like, did the Muslims buy the White House? What's going on here? It's like, all right, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey bad. President of Syria, MBS, Mamdani great. It's like, what's going on here? Which I'm going to have. We have an interesting guest coming. Well, obviously not in the next episode, but the one after that. That will have to answer lots of questions about this because he's a guy I battle with on Facebook about this stuff all the time. But it's like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, to see these guys together after all the stuff they'd been saying about each other, you know, turn the volume up. Then he stands next to him, just smiling away, like, oh yeah, everything's great. It's crazy.
It's like it's like the videos you see of two dogs barking at each other through a gate or a door.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
as soon as you open the gate or door, that just stops immediately. And they look up at you like, please put the gate back.
All right. The only other thing I really had to talk about is so I just literally right before I came here watched Bill Mayer had Lara Trump on. I guess that's Eric's wife. First of all, I'm not so sure she's not a man. She seems kind of manly to me. Look, and my problem is she's too tall. That's the problem with me. Any chick that's that tall, I've been to South Beach. I know once you sort of hit a certain height, you got to start questioning. You start looking at the Adam's apple. And dude, she's tall. She's got big old hands. She's got a pretty deep voice. She's got a little bit of an Adam's apple. I'm just not sure. I mean, I don't want to go all Macron here, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure that's a chick. But anyway, regardless of the fact, she's talking about, obviously they're going back and forth about how horrible it was for Trump and this, that, and the other thing, and how she couldn't get a mortgage for a house in Florida. I'm thinking to myself, why would she want a mortgage? Just buy the house. You get the money. Why, I mean, the interest rates aren't great, or maybe they were back then, but I mean, I can I guess if you get a mortgage for 5% and you got investments making 10%, yeah, I get it. But at some point you go, why are you bothering with, I thought you people had money. Why do you need a mortgage? It doesn't,
maybe there's a tax benefit to it.
Maybe, I guess the loss and I guess whatever you pay in interest, maybe, I don't know. See, that's just the other thing, dude. Our tax, just think of how different life would be without the IRS. I mean, it would change every American's way of life if you just said the IRS is gone. You think about it. I mean, just the amount of this, we wouldn't even have to be doing this. We'd be doing this for fun, not to waste tax money. It's the whole society built on the IRS would be so different if it just went away. I mean, think about all the shell corporations, the zombie corporations, the tax dodges, the stuff people do to. If you made it just simpler and fairer, think about how different life would be in this country. And I mean, we've already discussed. I mean, how do they collect taxes in England?
That's a good question. I don't know. I do remember it seemed like for a while there that a lot of really famous British pop stars were moving to the United States to save money in taxes.
Right. But how do they collect them? I mean, I don't think they have an IRS.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, what is their system? It can't be anywhere near as complicated as ours. They probably just have who knows? That's something we should have asked Dave Connolly when we had him on here. I have to send him an episode, a copy of this episode, and say, hey, address this. How the hell do they do it?
And he's not like he still has American citizenship, right?
Yeah, but he makes money over there. I'm sure he has to pay taxes.
No, my point is, I'm wondering if he also has to pay any kind of taxes on his income to the United States, even though he's not there.
I think you can only tax money you make in this country. I don't think you can. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. We could look into the tax code and find out. I guess at some level, I think it's about this thick or something, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. But just think of how simpler it would be if they just went with something simpler, like a flat tax or something.
What about a gambling boat that's in international waters? All of the profit that they generate during that time in international waters, where do they pay those taxes to? From the country of their point of origin, or
maybe they might be
international
exempt.
maritime tax law. That's be an interesting niche.
Well, I mean, I think any money they make offshore, they'd be exempt from. But the problem is then they have to bring it back to America. So that would be, how do you bring the money? And then, I just saw a thing, a libertarian post the other day about some guy that tried to bring like $50,000 or $70,000 in cash into the country or something like that, which is, I guess, illegal. And they took all of it, of course, which is basically theft. It's money. What's wrong with money? It's can't.
Yeah, I think the limit is 10 grand.
Yeah.
Like for airports.
Yep. And it's funny. I've got a little bit I've been hoarding cash myself a little bit at my house. Every once in a while I go to the ATM, get some cash out, put it in my house. And every once in a while, if I go to where all my cash is, I'll open it up and I'll be like, okay, I get why the dogs can smell it. Because I can smell cash. When you get enough of it together, you can smell it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe the smell either, but you can smell it. It definitely has an odor. It's weird. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, well, that's because it's not really paper. It's got like fabric in it, and
Right.
so it absorbs, odor in the same way that any kind of a T-shirt would.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's one of the things that makes it so technically so hard to counterfeit is the actual paper itself is a weird combination of like fabric and wood pulp and I don't know. It's apparently very hard to mimic.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's exactly how they do it anymore. I got a problem. I got a feeling they probably use like some kind of synthetic material to make it out of or something. But I mean, truthfully, it wouldn't be. I mean, they have so many different looking denominations now. Like you can get a 20, like you can get like 5 different kind of 20s that are all viable currency that don't look the same at all. So how hard would it be to counterfeit that? I mean, I don't think in this effort to do away with counterfeit, I think they've really just almost made it easier.
I remember back in the day, when in the restaurant business, when they literally, I can't remember the year, but maybe it was in the 90s when they first started making all these new designs for bills. And I'd had people question their legitimacy, even a real bill, like because they'd never seen that new art, that new design before. They're like, no, I'm not taking that. That's not a real 20.
And what's with the pen? Like, what does the pen do?
What do you mean?
When people mark it with a pen?
Oh, that's basically that's just test the type of paper. If it turns dark or whatever, it means that it's the wrong kind of paper. And then holding it up to light, looking for that little strip that runs
there's a
along
watermark.
sideways.
Yeah, but like
those can be woven in.
True. Yeah, I don't know.
When I worked at Roxy's, I believe one weekend we got 6 bad 20s that we're so busy. Somebody passed them off at the back bar. And then later on when, the deposit was getting put together, I guess they were testing the bills and they found all these 20s and realized they'd all come from the same area. And that's when I found out that you give those bills to the Secret Service. I never knew that before then. I just thought all their only job was to protect the president. And then really that's not their main job is actually chasing counterfeiters.
This is true. And the best place to get rid of counterfeit money, right? Strip club.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's dark. They can't tell the difference.
Right. They're not using the pen to check it. Where would they keep it?
Yeah. Yeah, right. All right, so I saw an advertisement earlier today, and I thought it was... All right, so if tossing dwarves is considered, impolite or unacceptable, how are they getting away with midget wrestling?
Well, I don't think they like to be called midgets or dwarves, although dwarves is
that's
like
what they call it.
term.
They call it midget wrestling. I'm not saying that. That's what they call it.
I would say the primary difference, in my opinion, between those two activities is that in dwarf tossing, you got a full-sized human being throwing a little person, whether they want to or not. Whereas with midget wrestling, at least both opponents are of the same stature.
Right.
And they're still being, probably being made, money on by, let's just call them biggers. That would be
Biggins.
us and anybody our size.
I actually was subjected to a midget wrestling event once, and it was at the same place. It was just at what's that fucking cowboy place on Palm Beach Lakes, Renegades, and I think I was actually playing a gig there or something, and they just happened to have that like in between one of our sets or something like that. But, and I mean, listen, say what you want about regular wrestling, midget wrestling is definitely real. I'm just kidding.
I think it's still pretty popular in Mexico. I think there's more
Could be.
like midget luchadores, you know, with the masks.
Yeah, could
I mean,
be.
Mexican wrestling is a whole nother level of suspension of disbelief.
That is true. Suspension of disbelief. That's funny. Yeah. You know, and at this point, my buddy, shout out to my buddy Casey Cook. He's still a huge wrestling fan. I look at him, I'm like, dude, really? He's like, yeah.
I mean, it's an exhibition. It can be entertaining.
Yeah.
It's soap operas for dudes.
And it's, you know, it's for some reason, whenever I think of wrestling, I think of the band Kiss. Because that's just like, to me, it's just like it just moved over into music. It's kind of the same thing. The lights, the pyrotechnics.
Yeah, or ICP, same thing.
Yeah. Good
It's a
point.
different genre, but it's, you know, same idea. I mean, ICP is absolutely the Kiss of the rap world.
I got a
little dash of Alice Cooper or something in there because they they mostly sing about dark stuff.
I got to call out our past guest, Jamie Woods, because I remember he was saying something about, you were talking about ICP, and he goes, oh, that gives me a good idea for Halloween. And they did not dress up as ICP, so I'm very disappointed. That would have been good, but that's not what they did.
I personally like ICP way more than I like Kiss. I think that they do a better job of what it is they're doing, being a spectacle.
I
was never a fan of Kiss.
I was never a fan of Kiss. I have played a couple of their songs, though, but I couldn't tell you an ICP song. What is their biggest hit, would you say?
Maybe Fat Sweaty Betty or The Great Malenko.
No idea.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some Juggalo fans.
I was going to say, now, like, did Juggalos, did they ever get any kind of mainstream exposure? Like, they never got a song on the radio or anything, did they?
I mean, I got turned on to him by my sister. She really likes them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd heard of them. I mean, everybody knows about them, but yeah, I couldn't tell you.
And then I actually went to a concert once, and it was a hell of a show. I had a lot of fun.
Well, also, I would assume a Kiss show would be pretty amazing if you actually went, you know, with the
if you liked what you were listening to, yeah. I just don't like I just don't like Kiss's music. Whereas I actually find quite a few of ICP's songs pretty entertaining.
Well, yeah, you're a words guy, I guess, yeah. I mean, the words, when I'm thinking about the lyrics to Kiss songs, they're really not very, not too deep, really. Really very surface.
Yeah, ICP is not deep either, but as far as
there's
a
word
narrative
play.
Song telling a story about an event or something, they got some pretty good ones.
It's not rock and roll all night, party all day.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. So what else are we going to talk about? So, you know, I'm getting tired of trying to get guests. It is definitely a lot easier to have more stuff to talk about with guests, but I mean, there's all kinds of people that say they want to be guests all the time. Like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Okay, well, when? Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, no. Getting them on here is the hardest part. So we really
even getting them to zoom in, like you don't even have to come down.
True. Which is, well, I don't know how many people know how to Zoom. I know a lot of musicians know how to Zoom because back in COVID they were doing these Zoom in, which that's got to be interesting because like our Zoom has like a little bit of delay. Like I would assume I talk and then you have to wait a second. When they're doing that music thing like that, you can't have any delay. There must be some kind of like, they must have been using like Super Zoom or something. There must be some kind of like faster latency because they'd be playing all at the same time, listening to each other from like 8 different places.
Maybe they just edited it all up at the end and sync it.
I don't think you could do it that way.
Hmm.
I mean, if that's the case, you wouldn't need them to do it at the same time. They could all just do their parts whenever and send it in. I think the whole well, I mean, if it was an illusion, I mean, but I thought the whole point of them having the 8 windows open and all of them doing it at the same time was that they were doing it real time, but maybe it was a lie.
Probably a lie.
Who knows? Who knows? I know I'm going to have to get, yeah, I can't wait till after the first year I can finally start spending some money on some gear for this, like buy some laptops and, so you just use your phone, right? You're zooming on your phone.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, I bought an external microphone, but I'm just
Right,
for the video, I'm just using the phone.
Now, if you had like an external camera, would you be able to plug that into your phone?
I don't think so. I don't think so because right now the USB port is being used for the microphone, so I don't know
I
where
would
else
think you would
I would
probably
plug something in.
Well, what would probably happen is you probably have to plug your camera into the USB and plug your mic into the camera. I'm sure the camera probably would have a jack for an external mic. Or just have a really good mic on the camera.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, eventually I want to get a laptop, and then I could probably just start zooming from home. Then we have to worry about editing and publishing, but anyway, we'll figure that out. I don't know what else you want.
Well, I can use the camera on a laptop and just keep using the microphone that I have. So
true, and you can just plug the microphone in the laptop. But you have a smart TV with a camera. You could be sitting in front of your TV doing it, couldn't you?
no, the TV. I tried casting to the TV, and the TV is not as new and as technologically advanced as I thought it was.
Oh, yeah, you've had that TV a long time, haven't you?
I've had it for quite a while, and my dad gave it to me, and he had it for a couple of years. So it's
Is it even a smart
brand new
TV? Is it
Pardon?
Is it a smart TV?
It is a smart TV,
Oh, okay.
but it doesn't have a built-in camera.
It's probably one of the very first ones, truthfully.
It's 4K. It's a good TV, but no, my phone is more than capable of wanting to cast to a nearby device. It just can't cast to this TV.
Yeah, we'll have to get some laptops. Yeah, what else
You
you
ride the
got?
bike up today?
Say again?
You ride the bike up down today?
No, I was gonna, but it's funny because here it's nice, but when I walked out of my house to get on the bike, it was like looming clouds in every direction. Like, what the hell, is it gonna rain or something? So I just jumped in the Jeep. I was planning on it because it was nice all day until right time to come down here. But I was even mentioning that to the producer. I was like, I should have realized it's every year. I don't know if anybody notices, but every year in Florida around Thanksgiving it rains. I don't know why, but all the time right around Thanksgiving. And the reason I even remember that, I was telling him this story, is back in the gathering days when I was living with Scott in Belvedere Homes. One Thanksgiving it rained so hard our neighborhood was flooded. I was literally like calling him up, going like, I don't know how I'm going to get to work. I can't, I can't drive through 4 foot of water to get out of my house. And they actually ended up sending somebody to get me, and I had to like put on shorts and wade out like 2 or 3 blocks where they could pick me up and take me to work, because it was like Thanksgiving Day. They're like, "Oh, we need you. It's going to be busy." But yeah, I mean, for some reason, right around Thanksgiving, it always rains.
That was the one holiday I hated working more than any other, was Thanksgiving.
Really? How come?
I always tried to get out of Thanksgiving.
How come? It seems like any other.
Because when I was younger, back then, I always had family that were putting on great Thanksgiving. Like I had somewhere to be. You know what I mean?
Right,
it was
right.
I'd really rather. Plus, Thanksgiving is a great holiday. Maybe you bring one item or something, but basically you show up and just hang out and eat a lot of food and have a good time. It's not like Christmas where you're obligated to have all these gifts. And
Sure.
yeah, I was like, I'll happily work Christmas and I'll work New Year's, but I want Thanksgiving off. In
Yeah, we
fact,
don't
coming
really.
down to have Thanksgiving down there this year. Be down on Wednesday.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the invite. If I hadn't already had plans to spend a Singer Island Thanksgiving. Yeah, I go to Singer Island and this giant condo my cousin lives in. They have like a building thing. Everybody in the not everybody in the building, but a bunch of people in the building. But it's funny, dude. You know what they pay in maintenance fees there? $1,500 a month.
Wow. Wow, wow.
That's more than you pay in rent.
Is there like some crazy assessment? Did they find a bunch of damage
No.
and now they got to get a bunch of money to fix it?
No. It's just a giant condo on the beach. That's just how much it is. Which is funny too, because she told me we were walking out of their apartment not too long ago, and the one right across the hall from there, she goes, "Oh yeah, that lady just died. I don't know what the kids are going to do with that condo." And I'm like, "They're going to end up giving it away because ain't nobody going to buy that thing, for which is funny. I saw you could get a condo on Palm Beach now, like a little 1-1 condo on Palm Beach for about 150 grand, 200 grand, but then you got to pay, then the bills really come in. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the condo market is definitely, I don't know what they're going to do. They got to do something about this whole HOA thing. You hear they're definitely putting on the ballot the voting on the property tax thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know how they're ever going to get away from the HOA thing in situations like condos where it's all one building. You know what I mean?
Well, you're never. Here's the thing.
Clearly, if something happens to the building,
yeah, you're never going to get away from it. What they got to do is here's the problem. I mean, if you got an HOA that's run by the people that live there, then it's going to be, they're obviously going to do what's in their best interest. There's two problems with that. First of all, nobody wants to do it, and the person that wants to do it is not the person that should be doing it. You know what I mean? If anybody wants to
could be said of virtually any elected job.
Yeah, anybody that wants to be the president of your HOA should not be the president of your HOA. But the other problem is that because of that exact situation, what they do is they outsource it to some corporation. Then you're totally screwed. They don't give a shit. They don't care anything about you. All they care about is, all right, we're getting paid this much to make this much, and that's what we're doing. We don't care about anything else. So they've got to, I don't know. They got to make a rule where there's somebody at least in the HOA that represents the people, the residents, the people there, because otherwise you get these HOAs that just do whatever they want, run scams on, I'm sure I told this story about the place there where you got a $25 fine if your garbage can was knocked over, so they had a maintenance guy driving around a golf cart knocking everybody's garbage can over, every morning after the garbage guys came. And so, yeah, I don't know. They're going to have to do something about HOAs or else, the condo market right now is just in the shitter. There are people losing their shirts. I heard a story of somebody basically giving away a condo for $5,000 and just to get rid of it. Just like, look, I can't, here, give me $5,000. Take it, Which truthfully, depending on the maintenance fee, that might not be a bad idea, Somebody wants to give us a condo on the beach, and all we got to do is pay $1,500 a month in maintenance. I don't know. I might do it, but you're never going to not pay that $1,500. Yeah, and that's going to eventually go up.
Yeah, and then eventually you got to find somebody else to just give it to and walk away from.
Yeah. True. And of course, I don't know if you remember. I tell this story all the time, but that one big condo on Singer Island, I forget which hurricane it was. I think it was Wilma. It was the one with the most wind, where we had all the wind damage, but it didn't really have any water. But apparently that screwed up that first condo right on Singer Island as you start down Condo Row. I forget what it's called. Big famous condo. But apparently they had to close down that whole condo, move everybody out for like a year and a half. And then finally, when it was almost time to, the funniest thing was, so you haven't been able to go into your condo to even get your stuff because it's condemned. You can't even go in there, nothing. You're not allowed in there. You will be arrested if you go in there. So eventually what they ended up doing is you would have to come there on a given day, and they had a like a plywood wall set up with a window in it. And there would be a guy on the other side of this wall in a hazmat suit, basically bringing out in front of this window all of your belongings out of your house to say, like, okay, you want to keep this or should we throw it away? Whatever was in your house, whatever was left in there after the storm, they basically just cleared out your place, put it in this room and said, what about this? You want to keep this? You want to keep this? So I'm just thinking to myself, well, you know.
That's brutal.
Right. The thing of the poor old lady there, and like they hold up the 12-inch double-ended dildo. How about this? You want to keep this? It's like just how dehumanizing is it to have everybody going through your stuff that's been, that's got to be. But that's condo living for you. I mean, and dude, like the one my mom used to live in. I mean, I stayed there for a while, but I never felt like I lived in a prison more than some of those condos. They're set up to where literally like you could talk to your neighbors by sticking the mirror out your door, like they do in prison, and just looking down the row, like, hey, Alfred, how's it? Can I get some sugar? It's like,
that front door to that place too had all that weird like metal grating stuff on it too. So when it closed, it even sounded like it might be a prison door.
Right.
Nice metallic clang to it when it swings shut.
Yeah, I was never so happy to get rid of that stupid place. Those freaking condo Nazis. And the balls of that guy. I don't know if I told this story on the pod, but so basically my mom is in her one bedroom condo with dementia so bad she can't live by herself. So Rom's ex-girlfriend happened to be living on his couch conveniently. He's like, hey, why don't you move in with my mom and take care of her and make sure she doesn't kill herself? So she moves in there, and apparently just because she's there and has to use a guest space, one of the freaking other residents starts freaking out and reporting her to the HOA. Till sure enough, sooner or later, I have to move my mom out of there because they won't let her live there. It's like, what's wrong with you people? And then after I get my mom out of there and I'm trying to sell the place, this guy that did all the complaining has the balls to come up to me and go, yeah, how's your mom doing? I'm like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Like, it was unbelievable. Condo people. God almighty.
Yeah, I can still picture that guy. The rather fat guy on the on a golf cart, right? Yeah.
Yep. Now, well, did he ride around? Yeah, I think he did ride around the golf cart, now you mentioned, but he definitely lived right upstairs. He was such a Karen. What a douche. Anyway, got us out of that place. And I remember once I finally took possession of that place and cleaned it out, I found their HOA rule book, and I swear to God, it was at least that thick. I started looking at it like, you got to be kidding me. It would take you like a month to read the thing. It was so crazy. It was
considering there was really no yard, front or back to speak of, what in God's name could they... Dude, what I mean? How many things can you list to get what you're doing wrong inside your apartment?
Dude, I couldn't read it. I made it a couple of pages.
Not allowed to put stuff in your windows. I mean, other than that.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. All right, well, let's wrap this episode up, and we'll give out the number 904-549-9024. I got it memorized so well. Definitely comment and like and subscribe and do all that stuff. Subscribe mostly, and keep watching our shorts. They've been getting very popular. Anything else to add before we?
Nope. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. We'll see you next time.